In a world where there are too many comic books to keep up with, one podcast has the stones to bring you all of your comic book needs. Week by week. Book by book. One epic show. You are now tuned in to Nerd Church Radio. Booyah! Beware my power. Green Lantern's light.
My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive.
All right. Hello and welcome to NCR DC Communion episode number 16. I'm your host, Ben Dupé.
I am Noah O2O.
And I'm Ariel Dupé.
So what do we think of that intro song?
Booyah, I love it.
That was awesome, right?
We get Wonder Woman, Batman, and Cyborg.
And
love it.
Superman at the
and
beginning,
Superman,
too.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. I was happy to find it. I tried, finding Barry Allen quotes, but he just doesn't say anything that's, recognizable, you know?
Other than, I need to go back in time and fix things.
Yeah, I need to go screw everyone's life up. That's his thing. So, but it was fun. Yeah, we found a very talented gentleman on Fiverr by the name of Matt PJG to make that for us. So if any of you listeners out there ever need electronic music custom made, definitely check him out. But here at NCR, we are a DC Comics fan podcast. We typically talk about all the weekly comic book releases that come out, but we also dive into movies and TV shows sometimes too. But the main meat of the podcast is the comic books and whatnot. So, we are a spoiler podcast, so we do like to spoil the comic books that come out on a weekly basis. We cover plot beats, character developments, all that nonsense. So if you're into that and sort of wanting to read the books first before having them spoiled, we do put the sort of description down in the show notes to let you know where we're at or whatever, if you want to skip over a book or something like that. So we do have a Patreon where you can help donate to us and help us keep the mics on. That is located at patreon.com/nerdchurchradio. You can do monthly donations there. So if you want to donate to us $2 a month or something, that definitely helps us out. Or if you just want to do a one-time donation, you can definitely donate to us on PayPal at nerdchurchradio@gmail.com. So, and I won a contest today.
I saw that on Facebook. I did,
yeah.
Yep.
I've never won anything before, so this is pretty
awesome.
cool. So Kamikaze is a comic shop in Boston. My brother lives out in Boston. He messaged me the link. It was one of those, like this post, share it and send one other person. But I won the 2 prequel issues to Infinity Gauntlet, which is Thanos Quest, I believe. Mm-hmm. And it was, I guess they're pretty pricey comics too. I mean, they're $50 a piece. So I was like, wow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
so
it's excellent fun.
My brother went and picked up my winnings today. He's going to send them to me.
Cool.
So that was pretty cool. And Kamikaze, man. I've been out to Boston. I visited them before. They're a stand-up comic shop. They got probably the most toys I've ever seen outside of a Comic-Con.
Right,
they're just huge selection of toys out there and really good comics too. So thank you to Kamikaze, and if you're in the Boston area, definitely check them out. That's COMICAZI. And then we do have an email address where you can mail to us if you want to tell us what's on your mind. We can be reached at nerdchurchradio@gmail.com, or if you want to tell us what's on your mind in your voice, you can give us a call at 641-715-3900, extension 345703. Leave us a voicemail, and we might just play it on the show. Other than that, we have a ton of news to cover today, so I'm going to just jump right into it. All right, so tons of news this week. Got a lot of things happened in the not so much in the comic book universe, but in the movie universe. Mm-hmm. There was quite a bit of the happy haps going on.
Right.
So. First off, Matt Reeves kind of put something out there that said when he was hired on to do the Batman movie, he was told that it was not going to be part of the DC Extended Universe. And fans were flipping out and thinking, like, what the hell is DC doing? Mm-hmm. And this went on. He let it go for like 3 days before responding to it. But he came back and said, of course, this is going to be part of the DC continuity. It's just not really. It's kind of in that same way that like Guardians of the Galaxy with the Marvel universe. It's not part of like that universe, so to speak, but it's part of the continuity.
It's right. They're still in the same. They still exist in the same universe, but their stories don't necessarily interact. Or right.
Yeah, and I think that's a good sign, man. I really think that it's kind of Warner Brothers saying to Matt Reeves, like, you know, first of all, we have kind of a bad history of sticking our fingers where they don't belong in directors' movies and trying to meddle with them and make, you know, Suicide Squad was turned into that first trailer. So I think they were saying to him, like, make your movie, make your standalone movie. That's cool. We're not going to mess with you. It's a standalone. We're not going to try and make this something bigger than it is. And I'm totally fine with that. So,
and a lot less baggage comes along with not having to keep the continuity or flow or plot line even of 3 previous other movies or, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
I agree.
Movies,
Yeah.
Totally. So moving on with the movie news, Joker origin movie has been announced, and this is very divisive among fans. And I'm not really sure which side I land on it. It looks like Martin Scorsese is going to be producing, which is definitely a good thing, I think, for this type of movie. It's supposed to, so they're recasting the Joker as a younger Joker, which to me doesn't make sense because Jared Leto isn't that old to begin with. But this is not part of the continuity of the extended universe. This is out of continuity, just a one-shot Elseworld type thing.
But is it the same Joker that's in Suicide Squad?
Nope. This is a one-shot movie from what I'm told. Kind of like Gotham Gaslight or
I'm not sure how I land on that one either.
Red Sun Superman.
I know how I land.
right. I guess I kind of do too. But I mean, I just worry with if you like put Martin Scorsese and a Joker movie and one that doesn't fit into continuity. I mean, why not just digitally alter The Godfather to have the Joker's face?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, he's not directing, so he's just an advisory role. He's just producing. Okay. So I think like it's going to be an 80s crime film, which is kind of his specialty.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, DC, like Marvel was the one in comic history that really started the continuity thing where like every book exists within the same continuity. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, DC had a very rich history of like doing one-off stories where not everything really necessarily existed. Mm-hmm. You know, you'd have an old Superman, then a young Superman. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was
the Killing Joke wasn't necessarily meant to be in continuity, and it just because that's kind of confusing to fans. Some things just became popular, adapted, right? Yeah.
So, I mean, Marvel kind of made this rule, unspoken rule for comic book movies that things have to be in the same continuity. And I think that's worked really well for them. But I think there maybe is another way to do it. And if we end up getting a good Joker movie out of it, I'm not going to complain. I don't need to see any more films after that. I mean, if they just do one movie that's like, here's the Joker. What I'm scared about is like, I don't want to empathize with the Joker at all. I don't think anyone should empathize with the Joker.
He's a bad guy.
I mean, like this is a guy that'll shoot little kids, you know? I mean, like you should, and I mean, in The Dark Knight, it was that thing where he gave his origin story, and you're like, man, I really didn't want to have an origin story for him. And then he altered it later in the movie, and it's like, oh, that's awesome. He's like making it up every time, and like, because he's such a what's the word I'm thinking, hard to grab onto sort of character.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think about this, Ariel? I know you're not really a fan.
I think it's I don't know. I guess when you talk about it a little bit more, the whole continuity thing, it's obviously not working for DC. Like, fail after fail after fail. So maybe they're trying something new, and maybe it will work. So
yeah, I'm choosing to be optimistic about it because I mean, there have been plenty of things that they've said they were going to do that I was pessimistic about, and they ended up working really well. And there have been plenty of things I was really excited about, like Batman v Superman, that ended up not working. Mm-hmm. So you just never know.
But there's just so many characters in the DCU that, like, why are we retrying Joker? Like, if you want to do a single movie, that's cool. Do the Sirens and make that just its own thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But well, that's the other thing, which, I mean, maybe one of your other points you're getting to, but that announcement and then the Joker and Harley Quinn movie, and it all pushes my hopes of the Gotham City Sirens back. They even said that these movies are pushing Gotham City Sirens back, and so it's like, damn it.
Then that was my next piece of news was they've announced a Joker and Harley Quinn movie with Margot Robbie and Jared Leto.
Yep.
And that, man, I don't know. Again, I don't like Jared Leto personally. I think I just don't like him. I don't like Tom Cruise either. Those are just actors I'm not a big fan of. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. I hope they'll learn from their mistakes. There's not much news else on that. But it does look like they have commented on the Gotham City Sirens thing as well, and said that it's not getting pushed back. It is still heavily in production, and the Joker is going to be in Gotham City Sirens and in Suicide Squad 2. So he is going to be a big part of both of or a part of both of those movies. I don't know how big, but that they have made a point to say no, these movies are definitely still in production. That's not getting pushed back. So, I mean,
they'll have to forgive me if I don't totally believe that.
Yeah,
but
I know, right? Yeah, I mean, it's so much on the slate right now. Is the thing. I mean, we have Cyborg, Flash, Shazam, Black Adam, Gotham City Sirens, a Joker Harley movie, a Joker origin movie, Suicide Squad 2, Nightwing, Batgirl. So that's 10 movies right there. Oh, then the Batman. So that's 11. And these are all supposed to happen before 2020. I mean, come on. So that's what?
Come on, son.
That's 2.5 years for 11 movies.
Yeah,
I mean, that's over 5 movies a year. We're going to get pushed back.
And are we still getting, Justice League 2?
Yeah,
and probably Wonder Woman 2 in between then.
So Wonder Woman 2.
Patty Jenkins,
Yeah, and I have quite a bit of news about Wonder Woman, actually, too. Wow, I'm blowing through this news, but that's okay. Wonder Woman passes the $800 million mark at the box office, which is awesome.
Yep.
This makes it the 6th highest grossing superhero movie domestically and the 11th worldwide. And it will soon take the number 10 spot, beating out 2002 Spider-Man, which grossed $821.7 million. It's also the summer's biggest movie. And Wonder Woman 2 has been announced for December 13th, 2019.
Excellent.
So that's a lot of good news for Wonder Woman.
Very, very good news. Very good news.
I'm digging it. So it seems like it's just kind of surpassed all expectations. I mean, I remember when it was coming out, people were speculating a $60 million opening weekend, and it did it did over $100 million, right, or like $90 million or something like that.
Right? Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah.
Did you hear what James Cameron was saying?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I thought you were going to talk about.
Yeah, and that was the next Wonder Woman thing. So yeah, you want to take this one? Noah?
Yeah. I mean, I'll do it as much from my memory as I can, but I mean, James Cameron came out and kind of basically was like, this Wonder Woman thing, not that big a deal. I was doing this before that with Linda Hamilton from The Terminator was his big example, and he was like, she was broken and she was beat down and blah blah blah, and Wonder Woman's just a hero, and Patty kind of came back and rose in Titanic and all these things, and she's like, he praises me for Monster, where I had a beat, broken down woman, but that's the joy of being a woman. You can do anything, and that's you can be a superhero. You can have a rough past. Anything can work. You got to celebrate it all and not just pigeonhole women into only being interesting if they've been broken down or faulted or
Well, from what I got from it is that for him, you can't, because he called her an objectified icon.
Right.
And, she's so beautiful, so of course she can't be strong, because pretty women need to be petite.
Exactly, yeah.
And, because all his women, even Sarah Connor, she's not the most gorgeous woman ever. They're pretty masculine.
Not necessarily. I mean, she's gorgeous. She's pretty.
I think Ripley and Linda Hamilton, I think they're very pretty, but
they're not feminine.
Yeah.
They don't have the traditional makeup and hair and outfits. I mean, their beauty comes from their just raw strength and whatever. But
so that's what I was thinking. You can be Wonder Woman, good looking, and still be as strong as hell.
And that's what Patty said. Yeah. That's so true. But what actually kind of bothers me a little bit more than the fact that he said that or that she came back with that is just how the media now is portraying it. Wonder Woman director, Titanic director feud.
Yeah.
And it's they're not.
It's not a feud. I mean, it's a lively debate at the best. Yeah. I mean, so he said the character is just an objectified icon, and it's just male Hollywood doing the same old thing. He claims it was a step backward from his own Terminator franchise, which go figure, a director saying they did something better. He's just kind of tooting his own horn at this point. And he's saying that she wasn't a beauty icon. And to me, I agree with both of your points that you don't have to be like, I mean, Ripley was a badass. She was very much what seemed like a soldier.
Yep.
And you don't have to be that. I mean, you can be a beautiful woman and still kick every guy's ass. You know, it's about diversity at this point. And you don't have to just look a certain way.
And she's a goddess, for goodness sake. I mean, what do you what do you expect? I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah, exactly. So it's whatever. I mean, it's just another. To me, it's, and I hate to pull like the SJW sort of stance.
I know, I feel like an SJW all the time, even though I don't.
Which it's like,
it's like
that's
I
like
have a strong sense of.
It's an insult, apparently. Like, okay, I battle for people's rights socially. Like, sick burn, bro. I don't know. Like, anyway, but so it's just another male director kind of like, saying something to set people back, and I can't see saying anything about that negative. I think there can only be good things come from having a strong woman role.
It's like, did he forget about Charlie's Angels or Xena Warrior Princess or any of the other beautiful butt-kicking women that have come before, or were actually probably came because of Wonder Woman, but that goes to show.
And speaking of like Xena, the Warrior Princess, and some old school fighters like that, there is a new Wonder Woman comic that's been announced. It's one of those crossover ones. It's not a big deal, but it's Wonder Woman Conan number one.
Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian and Wonder Woman, and it looks pretty cool, man. I'm pretty excited about it. It looks like you would expect. I mean, it kind of reminds me. Man, like the artwork almost reminds me of. Is this Liam Sharp doing this? Because he did a variant cover on it.
Oh, okay,
so I was like, that looks a lot like Liam Sharp. So so I'm excited for it. We'll probably review it on the show.
I'll definitely read it. One of my favorite comic book characters of all time is Red Sonja, who debuted in Conan.
Yeah, she's
so
great.
I'd love a Red Sonja Wonder Woman crossover. That'd be fun.
that would be explosive, to say the least. So I'm excited about that, and that looks like it's coming to us
soon, I think.
September 20th.
All right.
Yep. So let's see. What else do I have for news? Tom King and Lee Weeks are re-teaming up for Batman Annual number 2, and that's coming November 29th. So that's big news. Some of the guys on DC Mass will probably be excited about that because they and me were pretty big fans of the Tom King series. As of late, I haven't been as big of a fan of it, but we're getting better hopefully soon. So, they released a couple images from Doomsday Clock, which is the forthcoming. They're calling it a maxi series, which I'm assuming means just huge,
bigger than a mini series.
Much bigger than a mini series. So, the first image that they showed looks like a cover, and it's just a bunch of people holding up signs that say "The end is here." And looking really pissed off, kind of protesting.
Right.
And that is a very like Watchmen type thing to me, showing hordes of angry people protesting, and it sort of speaks towards like social issues that are happening right now too. So I think they're definitely going to comment on that stuff. And then we see a cover showing Superman just sort of like spread out flying on the front, but his leg is kind of disappearing into like watch pieces, and there is a portrait of Dr. Manhattan's face in the background, and I found this on DCComicsNews.com under DC Comic Book News. So if you guys want to see those images, definitely check them out, and I will link that in the show notes for you guys as well. But I think I'm super excited for Doomsday Clock.
That first one with the people holding the signs is, I mean, that if you didn't know any better, you'd think it could have been a cover of a previous Watchmen.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Book. I mean, it's like straight up,
Well, it's funny because Rorschach, when he used to like have his normal, not without his mask, he used to carry a sign that said "The end is near."
Right. Oh, right.
Near
right.
or here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
The end is near. I think.
Yeah, I think.
But we're not sure. So we're all very excited for that book. I think it's going to be a huge thing. They probably won't even give us review copies of the first issue.
Probably,
so
right.
We'll probably have to make our way over to a comic book shop to pick those up. So, last piece of news I have is Batman's new sidekick. They give him a name, The Signal, and his name is Duke, and he looks like if you took Batman and Wolverine and put them in a blender with a black guy. I don't know, because have you seen his costume?
Not yet.
It looks like Wolverine's
I just
costume.
instantly think of. Do you guys remember when? I mean, I don't know if you do. Back in the '90s, I think it was the Marvel and DC crossed. Okay.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Daredevil mixed with...
a little bit, doesn't he? Yeah.
I think Dark Claw, was that what they called the Wolverine, the Batman amalgam or whatever?
Oh,
He's Dark Claw.
And there are a lot of people comparing it to that on the internet
funny,
as well.
yeah.
So, that's pretty fun. I don't know. I dig it, though, man. I like it.
And his name's The Signal?
Yep.
Okay.
Which
I actually kind of get a kick out of that.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
It is. It's pretty humorous. So, did you guys have any news? Nope. All right. Well, that's all we got. We're 20 minutes in, and we will jump right into some book reviews. All right. So, first book review we have today is Batgirl number 14, The Summer of Lies, Part 1. Did anyone else read this?
Yep.
Awesome. So, it's a new story arc for Batgirl, and Nightwing is tagging along for the ride. Those two crazy kids are meeting up on a rooftop because they both got a text, which is like, okay, like I run to wherever I need to be when I get a text too, I guess. But anyway, it turns out it was a trap. It's two twins who beat up on Nightwing and Babs for like 30 seconds, then throw themselves off the rooftop that everyone's fighting on. But before they die, they give a cryptic message that says, "Her blood is on your hands." And it's like, could you be more specific, mysterious fighting twins? But these two look like someone that both Batgirl and Nightwing remember, and it's connected to the Mad Hatter. So we get some flashbacks of Babs and Dick hunting down criminals back in the day when Dick was Robin, not Nightwing. Back in present day, Babs and Nightwing are busting some skulls, Chickless Shield style, at the Mad Hatter's hangout. They beat up some goons and go digging around in the Mad Hatter's computer and find out that he is in the hospital currently. So they grab some flowers and a balloon, and they head over there to visit him. Mad Hatter wakes up in a fury and tells them that the Red Queen is after them. Some more flashbacks show Babs getting close to this girl named Ainsley. And the final page shows us the mysterious Red Queen, who I'm assuming is Ainsley, watching from a computer monitor. And that's all we get. So, who knows who Ainsley is? Anyone? No? Red Queen? No? Anyone?
Not necessarily. I should have researched a little bit more, but she reminded me of back when they did the cool Batwoman arc in Detective Comics, and she met a twin sister named Alice, and there was the whole Alice in Wonderland, Mad Hatter, Red Queen theme to it, and it made me wonder if it could be a connected character, but it could also be a brand new character that's just in the Mad Hatter universe as well. So I loved. I mean, I know you can't obviously see things when you're listening to it, but the brief pictures we get of her, she's got this veil that comes down over her eyes, and you only see her nose and mouth, and it's cool. I like it.
It looked pretty cool. I'll give it that. Just looking on the DC database site, Red Queen pulls up a Peggy Allen from Earth ABC. She was a policewoman who, for reasons that were never clearly stated, decided to put a costume and a mask on and fight crime as Woman in Red. Whatever her motivations were, she became the first female science hero on Terra Obscura. Like most other Terra Obscura science heroes, she was placed in suspended animation after a failed attempt to stop an alien invasion, a state of affairs that persisted till 2004. Looks like this was published quite some time ago.
Yeah, I have a feeling there is zero connection to that. The only other Red Queen I could think of, which also is obviously not related to her, is, or maybe they don't call her the Red Queen. Do you know the Royal Flush Gang?
No.
Oh.
No.
From Alice?
No, they all have cards. There's King, Queen, Jack, Ace, and 10 or something like that. Okay.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Right. They're a lot of fun, actually, if anybody knows. But anyway.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. I enjoyed this. It definitely wasn't the best Batgirl issue I've ever read. There were some pretty strong cliches in here. A lot of silly dialogue, and I don't know. I think that that's kind of just a recipe for, or what you get from Babs and Nightwing in a Batgirl book. You get hokey dialogue and stuff like that, and it's a little bit childish, and I'm kind of okay with that given the series. If I was reading this like in a Batman comic, I might not let it slide, but I'm going to let it slide for this because this is just what I've come to expect from this Batgirl series by Hope Larson. So, what did you think of it?
I'm pretty much the same as you. I mean, it was good, but it was far from great, and it was also far from bad. I'm generally a big fan of any time we get Dick Grayson Robin with new Barbara Gordon Batgirl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just when they're both fresh, and even though this didn't bring anything new to that dynamic necessarily, it's just fun. I just like it when that happens.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that went in its favor for sure. But
very, very light book. You know, very, very light reading on this one. I know Ariel wasn't as big of a fan. What did you think of this one, Ariel?
I felt like I was 10 years old watching 90210.
Yeah, a little bit.
You got relationship drama. You got the angry dad. Don't come in my room, Dad.
Yeah.
You have
the high school scenes were a little much for me. The mean girls, right.
Commissioner Gordon did seem awfully like angry, and he opens the door and he's just like, "Where have you been?" His tie is like loosened and he looks like he's just been worried for hours.
It seriously makes me feel like Hope Larson, right?
Yeah.
But she was homeschooled and she got all her high school information from TV shows.
Right.
And there's this one part that just drove a knife through my heart, where the teacher is like, "Oh, that's really secure. How'd you get in there?" And she's like, "Oh, I have my ways." Wink, hacking.
Yeah. Because I have my ways is the universal symbol for hacking everywhere.
Well, there's an apostrophe at the
Yeah, it's like an editor's note.
Right.
She hacked it, just in case you didn't get that.
Yeah.
Or the part where she's like, "Man, you can be such a dick." And he's like, "You have no idea."
Right.
I don't know. this isn't my cup of tea. This isn't my anything. The only thing that was kind of, I wouldn't say enjoyable, but got me through the book is because in Nightwing's own book, he's so mopey right now. So it's kind of nice to see the old happy Dick Grayson.
Yeah. I like the art a lot too, actually. I thought it was pretty fun artwork. I mean, it was kind of like old school sort of artwork, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty solid.
I wouldn't go so far as to say I liked it, but I would go so far as to say it was solid. I mean, it was... Yeah. It again, to me, just kind of still carried that feel of the Hope Larson Batgirl book, you know what I mean? But
and that's just her Batgirl.
That's just her Batgirl,
she's no Gail Simone. I don't know. I mean, that is what it is, unfortunately. I mean, and
they're going for this tone for the type of readers we're trying to attract to the book, I feel. And that's their prerogative, but thank goodness we still have Birds of Prey, right?
Yeah, God.
No, thank God.
I don't know what I'd do without that one. So we do have a rating system here where we like to rate our comic books. I'll play that rating system so you know what we're talking about.
If a comic book is bad, we rate it as blasphemy. If the book is good, we give our blessing. If the book is not bad, not good, but just kind of meh, we rate it as stuck in purgatory. If the book is great, we rate it as holy. And if a comic book exceeds all standards of awesomeness, we rate that book as salvation.
It's a salvation, hands down. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's a blessing. I can't really be mad at it. It is what it is. I'm not gonna say it's a purgatory because I think there's probably readers out there that really enjoy this kind of comic book, and I think their needs should be met. I think they're high school readers probably, or maybe adult readers who just really like 90210 and stuff. I mean that's okay, man. If you're into that, this book is for you, and that's your cup of tea. It's not necessarily totally mine, but I think for that style of reader, it's definitely a blessing for me. What would you say, Noah?
Yeah, I think overall it's a blessing. Like I said, it's far from great, and I'm not going to say everybody go out and read it, but if you and you like Nightwing, this is kind of cool. You got the little flashbacks and stuff, so it rounded out nicely as just a blessing for me.
Nice, Ariel. I know.
I agree. I think there's readers out there for it, and I'm just gonna have to do what I said. It was literally painful full to get through this book, I have to give it a blasphemy from me.
Oh wow! Okay,
I really.
Hey, that's
didn't
okay.
Like
Rate it how you feel about it. That's
but
cool.
there are people that probably like this.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I can't sit through an episode of 90210 or
I can't anymore.
Yeah.
I sure used to.
I could.
Right.
I could never, but I know that. But again, there's a reason that show was so huge, is
Right.
because like there are a lot of people out there that like that, and I'm sure some of those people like to read comics too, and this is the book for them. So, all right, that's all we got for that book, and we will move things on to our next book, which is Suicide Squad number 24.
Story is by Rob Williams. Art is by Agustin Padilla and Juan Ferreira. This is called Kill Your Darlings Part 4, Unworthy. Previously, what's been going on in Suicide Squad, Amanda Waller has ordered the Suicide Squad to apprehend Batman and Killer Frost. Katana subdued Batman, and the squad was able to capture Killer Frost. So, now Katana's lamenting her role she played a little bit in this apprehension of Killer Frost and hurting Batman in the process, and wants to set things right. Amanda Waller has Killer Frost imprisoned in some sort of a machine-type prison that appears to subdue her powers.
Yeah.
Waller's plan is to put every superhero and supervillain behind bars and take back the planet for humanity. Well, Director Carla of the Annihilation Brigade, which is the Russian version of the Suicide Squad, has convinced Amanda Waller somehow to share all of her secret files with him, including the location of all the superhero bases and secret identities. Amanda believes she's doing it all for the good of mankind and in the long-term benefit for her grandchild. Once Director Carla has the intel, he orders ready all the Suicide Squads across the planet. It's time to take the metahumans down. Well, it probably comes as no surprise that Batman isn't dead. Instead, he's coming for Amanda Waller and the Suicide Squad to rescue Killer Frost. Unfortunately for Batman, Killer Croc and the Enchantress are keeping guard around Belle Rev, and they have Batman in their grasp.
Am I the only one who laughs every time Enchantress, like, I don't know, man, just something about how seriously she takes herself.
Oh, I love her. I absolutely love her. Yeah.
She's just like, and it's always in a comedic, like, sort of setting, you know?
Yeah.
Like the time where she got turned down for a graphic design job, and
Right.
she's just going to wreak her havoc all over New York.
Yep.
And I don't know. She just cracks me up, even though she's not meant to be funny.
I don't know. I love how they've written her in this book so much more than how she was portrayed in the movie. So
totally.
I do love this Enchantress.
Like she's like a witch almost or something.
Yeah. And I love that she's like otherworldly. Like she doesn't get our vernacular and you know, like the way we speak and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It cracks me up. But so, of course, her and Killer Croc, you know, are a couple right now. She sees his inner beauty, I guess. But
which is even better. That's so great that she's
so out there,
dating a giant crocodile.
Yeah, and just before she executes Batman, two Gotham girls swoop in for the rescue: Harley Quinn and Katana. Harley is a little more than angry that Waller blames her for the deaths of Rick Flag, Captain Boomerang, etc., etc., etc. And also, Katana wants to make peace with her soul sword for her earlier betrayal of Batman.
Did you see how they drew Harley here? Like
that's what I was just laughing at.
Like her stomach.
Yeah,
it's like
so they can show her butt and her boobs at the same time.
It's like smaller than her leg, man. Yeah. That's crazy.
I know.
Like,
the art took a hit this issue. That's for sure. But
yes, I don't know. I like certain parts of it, but anyway.
certain parts, but compared to like how, do you remember how cool the last two issues were?
I'm sorry. I can't stop looking at it like this.
I saw that too.
There's some real exaggerated features, but yeah.
Sorry.
We're hijacking your review here.
So, of course, like I said, the Soul Sword's mad at Katana, and she's going to make peace by helping out Batman. So Batman and the unconscious Killer Frost attempt to escape Belle Rev in a jet, while Harley and Katana hold off Amanda's army. When Waller, Deadshot, and El Diablo, who also is apparently not dead, see the jet take off, Waller orders it shot out of the sky. Suddenly, Amanda Waller begins to pulsate with this blue electricity, and the squad realizes that she's under the control of Gulag from the Annihilation Brigade. Next, Amanda Waller versus the Suicide Squad.
So she's not currently in control of her body, right?
Right.
Okay, this isn't that's why she's been so uncharacteristically evil.
Complacent lately, right, yeah.
Oh,
Did we see when
evil.
she became possessed?
Not really. I'm assuming it happened when Director Carla had her captured a couple issues back.
Ambiguous. That was the word I was trying to think of earlier. Okay. But they have been kind of ambiguous with this as well.
Yeah. And she's also, we've also been getting into her psyche a little bit as far as, I guess, the regret and remorse she feels about not following through with her family. Yeah. And the animosity with her daughter and wanting to be a part of her grandchild's life, but knowing that's probably not going to happen because, everything. So I think, that kind of plays into it a bit. To me, it doesn't totally work because Amanda's just so established as the wall or whatever. And I like the attempt at getting into more, but I think having her under the control of Gulag is a good addition because you can get your mind around that a little better. But
one thing, this panel of Batman, where he's almost the entire page and he just looks pissed and is breaking out of the ice. That made up for every other bad piece of art in this book. That was just such a cool panel right here, where it's
for sure. That looks right out of a
Frank Miller
Batman. Yeah.
But the next page, one thing that I didn't like was Croc attacks him, then you hear a crackle, and Croc says "uh-oh," and Batman's like, "Yeah." What happened there?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm assuming
the ice cracked or something. Or?
Yeah, I guess that could be. I don't know. I thought that was the Enchantress coming in, or because she just kind of was also.
Oh, so Batman is there right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was climbing out of the ice.
Oh no, he's back at Belle Reve. So yeah, there's probably no ice.
Oh,
because they're in the Louisiana swamp, but.
Okay, that makes much more sense then. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, we're all good for sure. So for me, this was a good issue, but it wasn't great. I thought the last two issues. I thought the last two issues great, and this was very good, but not great. But still, that being said, it's still the most fun Suicide Squad's been in a while. So for me, overall, I gave it a holy.
Yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised. When we started this show, I didn't read Suicide Squad regularly, and I've been pleasantly surprised by a lot of the books that I've started reading. And honestly, now, when I sit down to read all my books an hour before the show starts, yikes. Suicide Squad.
He's not joking.
I know, right?
That's 2 hours probably, but Suicide Squad is always at the top of that list.
Yeah,
I always really love reading it.
So,
what did you? I'm at a holy as well on this one.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really cool that she was possessed because she seems almost untouchable.
Right.
And the fact that a villain was able to, or I don't know who this Gulag is. Do you?
Well, I don't know. I can't tell you what his power set per se is. Obviously, he's capable of electronic manipulation and being in people's head. But Director Carla is the Amanda Waller of the Annihilation Brigade, which is the Russian version of the Suicide Squad, and Gulag's just one of the members.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was really fun. I do want to see some more, and I kind of got it in this issue, some more depth on Katana.
Yeah.
Because she's very
dimensional.
Yeah, one-dimensional for me. And she's a really cool character. A sword full of souls.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite characters, and I think she's got so much potential to be a very dimensional character, and plus you don't have a lot of especially Asian women, superheroes and stuff like that, and she's just super badass, and so,
they've gotten me really into, Harley and Enchantress and even reptile guy. Oh my gosh.
Killer Croc.
I'm really tired.
Yeah. That's okay.
And I really hope that they have a story arc just on her.
That'd be
and they
fun,
kind of seem like they're doing that with their whole, making up for her bad choice. So
yeah.
I'd like to see, a Katana offshoot series. I think the thing about Katana is, she's a very... she's a very hard person. I feel like in real life you wouldn't get through to her or find it she would keep to herself.
Yes.
So I think it's probably really difficult to try and show dimensions on her. But I think one of them is she fights with honor.
Yeah.
And she cares about her honor. And they just give us the tip of the iceberg on that here. Mm-hmm. But I would definitely like to see them expand on it. And I feel like the only way you could do that is going back and showing her story because she's so closed off.
Yeah.
Is she Japanese?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Japanese culture, especially warrior culture, is so cool.
Yeah. There's been a couple books that have explored. She had a... I think it was probably pre-Flashpoint, but it could have been right after. A one-shot and things like that show more about her husband and him dying and the Soul Sword and all that stuff. And I have to admit, one of my favorite scenes in the Suicide Squad movie, which I know is a touchy subject just generally with comic book fans anyway, but that scene where they're getting ready to go in and fight the Enchantress and she's talking to her sword crying and I hope I'm with you soon, my husband, and all this stuff. And I don't know, it just got to me because I like her so much and I just thought, that's cool.
She was definitely one of the characters that I think they got right in that movie. Man, I'm surprised there's not more like... this is random, but there's not more like Crocodile Dundee jokes between Killer Croc and Captain Boomerang.
Oh, that would be fun.
Like, come on, how do you not do that?
Right? Boomerang's gone. He was stranded.
It's also ambiguous.
Yeah,
whether he's gone or not.
A lot of ambiguity in the books this week, but I think he survived. I think he's too big of a comedian in this book to not keep going.
Right.
But man, DC, do some Crocodile Dundee jokes, man. That would be great. So, all right, we'll keep things moving because we got a lot of books to cover. Next one we got is Batman Beyond number 11.
Yay! By Dan Jurgens. So Bruce watches in horror as Damian's blind rage takes on Terry's unstable killing suit. Terry has killed Goliath, which means all cards are on the table for Damian now. Bruce finally sees something he can actually do. He sees that the ICBM missiles are ready to launch, so he's going to try to stop them. Good for you, old man. Unfortunately, I've been feeling so bad for him because he's just standing by like, no, don't hit each other.
Yeah, I know. He's a very crotchety old man in this series.
Unfortunately for Bruce, he's interrupted by Koru, who wants revenge for his father's death. I guess Damian still has some leftover feelings for his dad because he stops Kuro from killing him, leaving a weak spot open for Terry to sweep in for the kill. Bruce screams yet again at Terry to leave his son alone, and in that final cry, Terry is able to break from the killer's suit. A grumble in the background is heard, and we see that Goliath is still very much alive, maybe softening Damian's heart. It doesn't really matter because Koro has awoken from his smackdown and has pushed the detonator to send the missiles to destroy the Earth. No, not missiles, a toxin that will kill anyone whose body isn't strong enough.
Wow.
Harsh, right?
Yeah.
So, with no other choice, Terry throws the mask back on and heads out to handle the missiles. But his suit is weakened and he begins to descend to his death. Surprising us all, especially me, Damian sweeps in and saves him. Not only that, but the two kids back at the cave blew up the missiles and everything ends in a happy comic-y way. If it wasn't for the ending, I would have been more enthusiastic. I really don't like nice.
There's too much of a little bow.
Yeah. I don't like bows. I just
it was like wrapped up with a little bow on that.
No, I don't like it. Especially like the story has been so long. Like, it's been like 4 issues, and there's so much drama and like characters, and then they all walk away.
And now it's over without any consequences.
Yeah. And then there's these 2 kids, I'm not kidding, like children, who are in the Batcave, like, oh, what does this button do? Oh, look, we blew up the missiles.
And it seems like in a darker, I dare say, like, noir type story. Like, I know Ariel loves it when I say noir. But I feel like you wouldn't have that everything wrapped up in a neat little package ending. It just, if anywhere is not the place for that type of ending, it's a Batman Beyond book, it feels like. So.
There should be something gritty.
Yeah. Especially with, like, I mean, even if Damian's kind of been tricked into believing what his grandfather. Like, there's some Stockholm Syndrome there anywhere. That's something that you can't break. Like, you shouldn't be able to switch him back to, like, oh, wait, I love you, Dad, and let me try saving you. So, I hope the next arc is better. It's still a good book. It's kind of we're getting a lot of future books lately.
Right.
And this is probably one of the not as good ones. So I got kind of turned off, because this is, like, my 3rd future book this week I read. So.
Yeah. Cool.
I gave it a blessing, so.
Okay. Did you read this one, Noah?
I did, yeah. I also gave it a blessing, but it wasn't super enthusiastic, you know. It's just, it was okay. Yeah, it was a good book.
Okay, cool. Is that all? I didn't read this one. It was the one book this week I didn't read, and I haven't been keeping up with it, and it's not one of those that I just want to jump into. Right. So,
I think the next arc, because we just found out a lot of issues ago, that Joker is still alive, like the original Joker, and I'm hoping they get back to that in the next arc, and that'd be a good place to jump on, because that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd probably mean he's immortal, which is like something that's been thrown around, but just maybe. We'll see,
yeah. I'm interested to see how that kind of plays out or whatever. So, all right, cool. Well, we will jump on to our next book, which I did read, and that is Harley Quinn number 26.
The story, again, is by Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor, and art is by John Timms. This is Surprise, Surprise, Part 2. Previously, what's been going on? It's Harley's birthday. All of her friends and family are here to celebrate. But, as usual, things don't go according to plan when the Unconquerable Five attack and ruin everyone's fun. Well, thanks to Harley's gal pal friends, the Gotham City Sirens, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy, this issue was filled with blood, guts, and enough cleavage to make Power Girl jealous.
So much cleavage,
Lots
guys.
of boobs.
Holy crap. Like, Catwoman, I feel like every boob has had its chance to shine in the last two. It's like Power Girl, then Catwoman.
Right.
I mean, it's everywhere.
Yep.
So.
And honestly, not a lot else needs to be elaborated on this book because the majority of it consisted of the Sirens fighting the Unconquerable 25 with their ample bosoms, sharing the page with the bone-crunching, blood-shattering, splattering violence. And not that that's a bad thing. This is a Harley Quinn book, after all, and sometimes you just want sex and violence in your comic books.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's honestly, it's like sex, violence, and like boy jokes. That's all. I feel like this book is just geared towards people that love that, and I mean that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
Again, like I'm okay with it.
And I sometimes get critical of how Catwoman's portrayed because sometimes she is too sexy. I like that the sex appeal is part of her personality, but I also think that if she's leaping from the roofs of Gotham, keeping up with Batman, she would probably have her outfit zipped up just out of convenience.
Out of instinct.
But now in a Harley Quinn book, it's completely different because that's what you want and expect.
As someone with boobs, I really, with how low their stuff is, I need a nip slip, because that's
what would happen.
Yeah,
right.
Like in the Deadpool movie.
Yeah. Or
Colossus is like, she's like, oh, that's so nice.
Bam! Yeah, that was so funny.
Like, if you're going to shove boobs in my face, at least make it realistic.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's not. I mean, nothing in the Harley Quinn book is realistic. I mean, she jumps from a helicopter and just conveniently there's a truck driving about mattresses in the back.
Landing,
this is Looney Tunes level stuff. I mean,
they should also put a disclaimer at the bottom. All bras were bought from Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. It was good though. I had a good time with this one. This is another book that I've just jumped onto recently. By recently, I mean in the last six weeks or probably. I don't know. We're at 16 episodes, so 16 weeks.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Time is a bitch.
There's one scene in particular where she takes one of the female members of the Unconquerable 25. Not that it matters.
Oh man, dude, that was gory.
Snaps her arm and then flips her around. Well, they shoot her with a rail gun or something, and you just see like the flesh splatter off of her face.
Yeah, man.
It's just like, oh my god!
You're seeing someone die by
so
probably 100 bullets.
Yeah,
and it's super violent.
Super.
Is this rated T for teen too?
It is.
Oh my gosh! So 13-year-olds
pushes.
Wow.
I bet 13-year-olds love this book.
Right.
See, the thing about that though, and the thing that's funny about that, and this goes. I don't know. I heard this about movie trailers, and I don't know if it transfers to comic books, but I'm betting it does. A lot of times what you need for a movie trailer to be okay for everyone, it's okay to show blood, but it can't be red. So a lot of times they'll do like blood in terms of like shadows and sort of making it black and stuff. But if the blood is red, that is what will push your trailer into being like a red band
trailer, sure.
Or I'm assuming a comic book too. I mean, you'll notice in the shot of her getting hit by a bunch of bullets, there's not that much blood coming out of her. I mean, you see like holes and stuff, and it's kind of implied.
And then they draw the flesh.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But there's not much blood,
right?
So I think that's probably how they sneak by that T for teen rating,
probably,
honorably. So
I think they know their audience.
Too. Absolutely.
Oh, they definitely know their audience.
I'm excited for the next arc that she's running for mayor.
Yeah, I was saying, and I'll just have to wrap it up with saying at the end of the book, she decides to run for mayor.
Yeah,
so
dear
there
Lord.
you go. Yeah, there's that.
And I love that. panel. Like I love the bright colors. Yeah.
Well, I did kind of dig the end because the guy that's trying to convince her to run for mayor because the mayor of New York's corrupt and blah blah. There's story behind it, but anyway, he's like you need a treasurer, a fundraiser person, a budget strategist, blah blah blah. Just listen to all these things, and she's like looking around, and there's Poison Ivy and Catwoman and Madame Macabre and all of her ragtag group of friends, and she's like, got everybody I need. I'm running for mayor in New York City.
That's awesome.
So it was, I guess it's not like super great, but obviously it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and so I gave it a holy.
Yeah, I had fun with it too. I'm at a holy on this one.
I actually gave it a holy.
Good. Yeah.
I know I get a little tired of Harley Quinn, but I was really fun with this one.
Nice. Very cool. Well, we will move on to our... so we're doing one more weekly book, and then we got 2 vintage books to cover because we thought we were low on time this week, but we are actually going to go over this week on time.
Really?
So, wow. Yeah, we're at 50 minutes.
We only had, I guess...
5 books, yeah. Yeah, that's okay, but we got Nightwing and the New Order #1.
Nightwing. I can't do a Russian accent or I'd totally be like Nightwing, the New Order. Can you do it?
Soviet Russia.
Moose and Squirrel. Yeah. Nightwing and the New Order. No, that's not working.
In Russia, order does to you.
Yeah. In Russia. Yeah.
Anyway, this is my
Russia.
second. Even the cover looks very Russian, doesn't it?
Yes, it's got to be. Yeah,
kind of that propaganda 70s Russian feel.
Yep.
So.
Do we have listeners in Russia?
I hope not, because they're going to be offended. If we're offending you, we're very sorry.
You listen to Tattoo? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so this is my second futuristic book of the week.
Yeah, you got.
I got all the future books, which is funny because that's like my least favorite. So, a much older and more profound Nightwing is hunting down a man who hasn't taken his medication in a while. This man is Arthur Light, and is Arthur Light Dr. Light?
Dr. Light.
Oh wow, that's so crazy.
Oh shit! Okay, I didn't
Dr.
know
Light's
that.
a big thing in my vintage book. Anyways.
Right.
The meds are to keep his powers in check. Oh, did I mention the first couple pages shows the world in which Nightwing has taken out all of the superheroes? That's right. Dick is in charge of the Crusaders, and together they stop any super abilities or people from living. Dick has to deal with the choices he has made, even if Alfred and his own son can't quite cope with them. Wow, I'm sorry. I'm like...
You're good.
Blah, blah, blah. He blew up something that got rid of 90% of the world's superpowers, and those still with them either take medication or are locked away. But what is going to happen when his own child develops powers? And that's a quick recap, because, that's pretty much all that happened. It was a lot of Nightwing struggling with, man, did I make the right choice? Everyone in my family kind of hates me, so...
Yeah, it was super heavy for what it was.
These future stories are just getting a little weird for me because we just saw one in Batwoman.
Yep.
And I don't know if these two are connected.
Yeah.
I feel like when you give me a story like this, I need a map that goes along with it to show where it goes.
I feel like a lot of this you just have to view as a one-off because, first of all, we're never going to get that far in the story, without DC rebooting it or something. And secondly, none of these writers of, Batwoman and Nightwing the New Order and Batman Beyond, they're not talking to each other to correlate this future that we're all living in. So I just take it for what it is,
it was a good read. It was interesting. It felt very oh my gosh, George Orwell.
1984.
Yes.
Yeah.
It felt like that. And honestly, it took me a couple of pages to actually get into
very
it. Very
dystopian.
Yeah, very much.
But it's a cool story. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm interested to see what they do with it. Again, it's kind of that Noah syndrome with Elseworld stories where it's just it doesn't have much consequence for me because it has no bearing on any of the other books. But at the same time, it's something fun to read. It takes me 10 minutes to read through it.
See, and I thought the art was good, but I didn't get through it all. I thought it was really wordy.
Yeah, it was too wordy, I thought. Yeah. There was just too much narration, too much dialogue. I didn't, and especially especially for what happened. Like, I feel like they're really trying to tell you the story and show you what was going on with everyone and stuff. I did like the interaction between Nightwing and Alfred. I thought that was kind of cool. It gave you a sense of what happened. I think there's going to be a big reveal for where Batman is and all this, and I think he's going to go up against Nightwing. But we'll see. So
I love that Alfred's still alive in this.
He looks exactly the same as he does now. Like, and it's 20 years later.
Yeah. They just say that he's retired, and that's like the only way you know he's older.
Maybe they put like some of the Lazarus Pit in a spray bottle and misted him a little bit every once in a while.
I was going to write in my review, and it's been confirmed that Alfred is immortal. But I was like, no, someone's going to take that super seriously.
Right? Yeah, I know, right?
I do have one theory though, because I think with all these future stories that we're getting, maybe it's like a snapshot of what the world could be, and then with the Manhattan thing, it's going to change. That's like my only theory on why we're getting so many of these.
That's a good, yeah.
Cool.
I am done. Blessing.
Blessing? Yeah, I'm at a blessing too.
Yeah, I honestly kind of refrained from rating it because I honestly didn't get through it all. It was just so wordy for me, and I was like, but yeah.
That'll happen. All right, cool. Well, we will move things on to our retro round, I guess we'll call this. What do you got for us now?
All right, so I got a real fun one. It's not like super, super retro, but before I get started, I've got a little word quiz for you guys. So see if you can tell me what the following phrases have in common.
Okay.
All right, the first one is a man, a plan, a canal. Panama. The next one is a nut for a jar of tuna. And the third one is no X in Nixon.
I have no earthly idea.
All right. I'll give you two a little bit better known examples. Never odd or even.
Never odd or even. Zero? Or no?
Okay, here's one more. Madam, I'm Adam.
Madam, I'm Adam. No.
Okay. Are these phrases from the story or?
No. All right, I'll give you very simple. I'll just give you one word examples and see if you can figure it out.
Okay.
Civic.
I don't know. I'm lost.
Right, I'll go even easier. Mom. Dad. Pop. Wow.
I'm so lost.
Okay. They're all the same forwards or backwards.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
And that's called a palindrome.
Okay. Wow, I should have figured that out.
I thought you guys would get the mom, dad. I mean, spell the same forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
I was thinking of comic characters who are really close to their mom and dad.
Oh, right. My mind was in like comics and stuff. Yeah.
But if you fill out a man, a plan, a canal, Panama is a man, a plan, a canal, Panama. Okay. Or backwards.
Cool.
So those are called palindromes. I love weird word things like that.
Really cool.
Okay, so now I'll present my comic book for you guys. It's Zatana number 12. It's called Sorcery over San Francisco, and it's just from a 2011 story. The story is by Matthew Sturgis, and the art is by Stefan Roux. She fights a villain called Backslash, and he's called Backslash on account he can swing his magical sword and rewind time. There's this fairy attached to the sword which gives it its power. So the book opens on these merfolk relaxing in a pool late at night. Zatana resides in San Francisco, which is the most magical city in the world. So that's why she lives there, and there's lots of magical folk that are also there. Well, all of a sudden, Backslash attacks, and even though the fairy begs them to flee, they don't. Backslash kills them and takes their trident. We see a fun piece of Zatana's life kind of behind the scenes. She is rehearsing her spells with her friend Mikey by going over flashcards and practicing saying things backwards, like disappear is Rhapsod, or destroy is Yortist. I don't do them well. Zatana discovers Backlash and the bodies of the merfolk. The fairy again begs for Zatana to run, but she's not about to walk away from a fight. Zatana attacks. Didnib, ma, didnab, and doof. But with a swipe of his sword, Zatana's spell then becomes bind him hand and foot. Since her magic only works when spoken backwards, the spell fails. She tries again. Port et drowse, which becomes drop the sword, and doesn't work. Ogot feels quick becomes go to sleep quick, but with a backward swipe of his sword, it fails again. So Zatana tries a good old-fashioned punch to the face, but a swipe from his sword reverses the blow. So Zatana tries to run, but another swipe of the sword reverses time back to her original spot.
Wow.
It appears Backslash has won. He has Zatana tied up and is debating how to kill her when the fairy speaks up. You know what I wish I had, she says? I wish I had a race car. Or perhaps a nice level. or even a kayak if you follow me? Do you follow me?
Oh, man.
And she pleads with Zatana, who responds with, wow. Damn it, I'm mad.
That's awesome. Yeah.
She says, egad, no bondage. And when Backslash swings his sword, the spell still says, egad, no bondage. And poof, her ropes disappear. Zatana begins saying every palindrome she can think of. Nurses, run! Stack cats! And when things get really weird, ogre flog a gopher. And finally, puff up. So Zatana frees the fairy and captures Backslash. As Backslash is being loaded in the back of the police car, she cannot stop with the palindromes. No, sir, prefer prison. And go, dog. And step on no pets. And may a moody baby doom a yam? Tarzan raised Desi Arnaz's rat? Okay, fine, we're done. Oh, and the fairy? Her name was Hannah, of course.
That's awesome. Man, that was
just my favorite. It's just this one-off story, and it was just so cute. I just loved it, so I had to share it with everybody.
That was awesome, man. I really like it. I'm looking up like funny palindromes for the episode title.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen these like a list of naughty people, and they list like it looks like 20 names, and if you flip it backwards, that list of names reads the same as when you flip it forwards.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Like Dennis, Nell, Edna, Leon. There's like 20 of them. Anyway, that's cool.
Fun.
Definitely. So that story, again, is called Zatana Sorcery over San Francisco. It's Zatana number 12.
Yep, from the 2011 storyline pre-Flashpoint.
Yeah, so you can probably find that at a comic shop or
for
digital.
50 cents
yeah, I mean, it's probably somewhere in a 50-cent bin. So, all right, cool. Well, we will move things on to our final sort of retro thing of the night, and that is Identity Crisis.
Yeah,
my favorite of all comics. I think this is top. I love this story, and of course it's dark because I'm so serious. It ran from 2004 to 2005. It was created by Brad Meltzer, Rags Morales, Michael Blair, and Alex Sinclair. So I'll just focus on the first issue because I think it's so important how well they did at setting up the base for the whole story.
They really did. It's such a fantastic read. I mean,
I still choke up when I read that first issue. So we open in Opal City. Elongated Man and Firehawk are on a stakeout overlooking the black market cell of one of Lex Luthor's war suit. This was back when Lex was evil, which he will become again. Just throwing that out there.
No, he won't.
Their discussion turns personal while they wait, and they begin talking about love and secret identities, because Ralph has revealed his to the world. Firehawk asks Ralph to tell him the story of how he met his wife, Sue Dimpney. Since the first day they met, when she saw him across the room at a party, she only had eyes for him. Even when the man in the Flash went running by, she only looked at Ralph. They've been deeply in love, and despite spending time with all of the other stunning gentlemen in the league, their interest has never strayed from each other. It is of course complicated by the fact that because Ralph has a public identity now, so she's even more endangered.
Yeah, they did really well at sort of like making you care about these two's relationship, and what happens to her then is really tragic, and they just did so well at making you give a shit about that. So
on this particular day, Sue is throwing Ralph one of her famous surprise parties for his birthday. Every year she creates a mystery for him to solve as part of her gift. Ralph is confident that he already has figured out the entire thing, but he's not aware that Sue has planned an extra surprise for him. She's pregnant. And then bad things start happening. Alone in her home, Sue is brutally attacked by a mysterious assailant and signals for help. When the superheroes get there, they find Sue dead, burned pretty much 90% of her body. It's not until later they realize the fire isn't what killed her. All the superheroes try to use their particular skills to figure out how anyone was able to get into her super secure home. I mean, this home was secure. They even had like motion sensors that if anyone was trying vibrating, it could sell it. But they all come up with empty answers. Even Batman doesn't know what happened. After the funeral, where an inconsolable Elastic Man can barely keep it together, the heroes split up to hunt down possible suspects. But there's a group of 7, including Ralph, who only have one name in mind: Dr. Light.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, if they, and it's funny because I was just talking to Ben because we've been watching Defenders. Sorry if this goes a little.
No, we're good.
And I think for me, part of the reason, have you watched it at all?
I started it.
Part of the reason it doesn't work for me is in Daredevil. You've seen Daredevil season 2, right?
No, I haven't watched it.
Well, they try to like make this whole love story between Daredevil and Elektra,
Right.
and it just falls really flat for me.
Right.
So there, you don't care about anything else. One issue, and like I care about this relationship so much. Like I actually was like choking up while reading it. Like and they make Sue like this amazing person. They even mentioned that she was an honorary Justice League member, which not a lot of people get.
Right.
And I love that they point out not even Lois has that title.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And so I looked it up because I didn't know if that was like real. Sue Denby was actually made an honorary member of the Justice League, an offer which has been extended to extremely few people. This happened during her time on Justice League Europe, where she effectively ran things from the embassy, and Captain Atom recognized how much work she did for him.
Wow.
I mean, she hung out in the Watchtower. She was like, I know this is probably really selfish and crazy, but like I picture if Ben was a superhero, like I would like to think I would hang out with everyone and be like, the cool person trying to run things.
Yeah.
The Oracle.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But man, I just love this entire book, and it gets so insane. Like all the superheroes are hugging their families closer because they're scared. We actually find out it was in a supervillain. Oh, and there's like rape in it, which was crazy to me because has it ever been that dark before?
I don't feel, like I only feel it got that dark during the one-offs that maybe weren't supposed to be continuity, like The Killing Joke and things.
Well, I mean, and Kyle Rayner's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That was after Crisis, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was
No, that was before.
That was before Crisis?
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah, because the artwork in that was much more rudimentary. So I just remember the art in that being very Silver Age, and the art in this is much more advanced.
Yeah.
Like this is when they were doing digital coloring, and stuff.
True, yeah.
I just that's the only evidence I have. That may not be.
I
true,
think
but
I do think you're right. Yeah,
Yep.
but Sue Dibney's one of the characters that often gets mentioned when they use the term, people who have been fridged.
Yeah.
And obviously Kyle, Rayner's girlfriend was the first one that coined that phrase. But Sue, I'm kind of with you on. I mean, I can see how people might think that because they developed this really strong, good character for the sole reason of killing her to further applaud. But I mean, I just think there's more to her and her death than just being fridged.
Yeah, like she really wasn't just there for that. I mean, they made you care about that relationship.
Right.
And I mean, they made you care about her. They mentioned that she was an honorary. I mean,
Right.
there was a lot of things that really made you care about her. She wasn't just there to be raped and murdered.
Right. But see, and for me, where it gets dicey is the fact that they decided to have her raped. I just don't get why I need to have that in my DC comic books.
See, for me,
I just don't like it.
I think they needed the Justice League to have a really, really strong reason to, like, want to erase someone's personality. Like, you can't just, if someone robs someone, you wouldn't change their personality. But a rapist who's threatening to literally go out and do it to all the females in your life, he even threatens Black Canary. And of course, she's like, of course I can take care of myself. But I think at that point, you have to have such a huge moral dilemma for the Justice League members to decide to mess with someone's mind. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why they added that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be a truly vile person, I think. And it's a tough thing, but I mean, it is also something that happens in real life.
And, but of course, my mind goes, if that's the case, then why haven't they erased the Joker's mind a long time ago?
I know, right?
I mean, there's a lot of bad guys out there. But yeah, I mean, I get it.
I follow you too. I mean, I don't know where I land on the issue because I think it's dicey to throw rape into a book, and I don't know why it's necessarily needed, especially in superhero comics.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're writing a one-off story where the writer just wants to tell a story that involves that, who knows what happened in his personal life? Mm-hmm. Maybe he just wants that represented in a story.
That could be.
I mean, you just never know.
That's true. I mean, maybe building on that a little bit, I feel that, that could be included in a proper way if they did it with the motivation behind them, like they did when Speedy was a junkie. It's like, you can't show drugs on the cover. But it's like, no, this is what America's going through right now, and there's a lesson that can be learned. We can teach kids, and this, that, the other thing, and versus a shock point.
Yeah, having something there simply for shock value, I'll never endorse that.
Right.
I think there are other reasons to include awful things, and kids are generally the main. We think we're the main people for comics, but it really should and is kids, and I think they need to know certain things are bad, and I think those points should be reinforced through their entertainment too. I think that fundamentally everyone should get that message from the time they're a very young age, is just like, rape is bad, murder is bad, forcing women to do anything, even if it's like questionable in your mind, is bad, and that, I mean, to us that's just like common knowledge, like, yeah, you don't do that, but like, a kid with an impressionable mind, I think, I don't know. It's good to reinforce those points. It's just, again, having something there for the simple sake of shocking people or making your book adult. That's not fodder for entertainment.
Right.
So, yeah. So obviously, Salvation. I'm assuming. Yeah, yeah. And I agree. I think that first issue is a Salvation. I've actually only read the first 4 issues of that book, so I need to get through the rest of it. So have you read it, Noah?
Not all the way, not all of it all the way through. And what I have read, it's been a long time since I've gone through it again. But yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that's all we got this week. We're over in time, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. If you want to find us anywhere, we're everywhere at Nerd Church Radio, Facebook. Just find us on the internet. I am on Twitter at IndieComic. Ben, where can we find you, Noah?
Most social media sites at Noah O'Toole.
And Ariel.
I am Ariel the Oracle on Twitter.
All right, and that's all we got. Have a good week, everyone.
Bye.
Be good to each other.